So you might not believe me, but there was a time back in the day when it was really cool to have a full-blown QWERTY keyboard on your smartphone. Then the iPhone came out. And it was all over pretty quickly for keyboarded phones after that. Things happen, times change, and now the only smartphone in existence with a complete keyboard installed is this one, the Unihertz Titan 2. And it's surprisingly inexpensive. About half the cost of a modern flagship, currently sitting at $380. And it has a secondary screen on the back just like the Xiaomi 17 Pro. Today we'll be finding out if this new Titan 2 is as durable as one of the mythical Greek Titans, or, as durable as the Titan submarine. Too soon? Each of the 35 buttons on the keyboard are backlit. It's called a QWERTY keyboard since QWERTY are the first 6 letters in a row at the top left of the board itself. It's a chunky dude, stubbier than my S24 Ultra while being much wider. It's almost as tall as the iPhone 17 Pro, and it's definitely smaller than the Pixel 10 Pro Fold, even though they both have the square 1:1 screen aspect ratios in the center. Same, but different. Commencing the durability test, the Titan 2 does have a soft rubbery screen protector on top of the square screen. I'll remove that. I owned a BlackBerry Pearl back in the day before they went out of business, and it wasn't a very good phone, which explains a lot. This Titan 2 more closely resembles the BlackBerry Passport. And just like on the old BlackBerry Passport, we see scratches at level 6 with deeper grooves at a level 7. The rear screen also has a screen protector installed. This guy also appears to be protected with tempered glass, since again we see scratches at a level 6 with deeper grooves at a level 7. The right side of the phone is made from aluminum. We have a plastic fingerprint scanning power button and a metal volume rocker. Up at the top we have an IR blaster and 2 antenna lines. Hopefully these don't come back to haunt us later. The left side of the phone has 2 red anodized programmable buttons that can be set to launch an app or start up the camera. The bottom has our singular mono loudspeaker, a 33-watt USB-C charging port, and a dual-sided SIM card tray, which does not have any expandable storage, nor any rubber rings, since unfortunately the Titan 2 does not come with any water resistance ratings. We do have a front-facing 32-megapixel camera protected by the front glass, a large metal Unihertz logo underneath the tiny plastic earpiece speaker, but the plastic grill above the metal logo does seem to be super secure and will not be falling out on its own. Making our way down to the physical keyboard, the letters look to be printed on top of the plastic and can be rubbed or scraped off, which might be problematic in the future for long-term use. The letters we find on the Nintendo Switch controllers have had the white plastic inlaid throughout the plastic button, so they will never rub off. But to be fair, Nintendo only has 4 letters to work with, while the Titan 2 has 35. The keyboard is using a rubber membrane to both attach and rebound the buttons after getting clicked. They do feel super nice to press, but more importantly, the membrane will help keep the buttons from exploding off when it gets dropped, like Sonic the Hedgehog, so thumbs up for that. Making our way to the back of the phone, Unihertz has inlaid their shiny chrome logo into the fake leather of the rear panel. The glue holding these inlays in place though is ridiculously strong, and I don't see the letters coming off on their own. The fake leather is rather scratch resistant, unless you have a razor blade. Obviously, the BlackBerry brand is pretty dead at the moment, but one fun fact about Blackberries is that each of the little nubs on a Blackberry fruit is called drupelets, and the drupelets are actually tiny individual fruits that make up the berry. And it turns out that we've been lied to our whole lives because Blackberries aren't even berries. They are aggregate fruits, and maybe that's why Blackberry went bankrupt, because their whole name was based off a lie. Anyway, we have 2 cameras on the back next to the rear screen, the top 50 megapixel main camera and 8 megapixel telephoto camera lens below that, both protected by glass with a dual tone LED flash below them both. Flipping the phone back around, we can see what helps keep the Titan 2's price so low. While most smartphone screens these days, like the iPhones and Samsungs, are using AMOLED displays, the Titan 2 has a 1440 by 1440 4.5-inch LCD. That goes black after about 8 seconds under the heat from my lighter, but does fully recover. LCD displays aren't quite as vibrant, but they are way less expensive, so I'm not complaining. Finally, the bin test. With the thick aluminum frame and stocky square design, the Titan 2 holds its own extremely nicely. No flexing, no kinks, no cracks, not when bent from the front, the back, the left, or the right. The Titan 2 is pretty much a tank, and easily survives my durability test. But that doesn't mean we can't still see the insides. See, I have a particular set of skills that I have acquired over a very long career, skills that make me a nightmare for smartphone companies everywhere. I can take a phone apart and usually put them back together again. Most of the time. Tell the truth, some of the time. One thing I do appreciate all of the time though is how much time today's sponsor, Incogni, saves me in my everyday life. See, if you spend any amount of time on the internet, you know that sometimes legitimate companies that you give your information to turn around and sell your information to other companies or groups that then use your email and phone number for telemarketing scams, or your physical address for copious amounts of junk mail. And it's near impossible to delete your information from these scam websites. Lucky for you and me though, Incogni has a database of all of these dubious information resellers and can automatically go through and delete your personal information for you and keep it off the internet forever. For example, Incogni has personally saved me over 200 hours worth of work. Time is money, and it took me less than 10 minutes to sign up for Incogni, and saving about 5 weeks worth of work is totally worth it. You can try Incogni risk-free for 30 days and get 60% off the annual plan with the link in the description. They can even do custom removals if you need your info removed from some obscure portion of the internet. The only way to keep the robots from calling is to have robots on the defense. Incogni.com/jerryrig, and I do appreciate their work. I find it's far easier to remove the flexible non-glass back panels. The plastic and leather is far more forgiving than glass. Inside the Titan 2 we have a visible NFC coil, but no wireless charging, even though there is plenty of room. I'll turn the phone off and grab my 32-bit precision toolkit, link it down in the description. With 15 black-colored normal Phillips head screws removed, the metal NFC plate comes off from over top of the battery. The rear screen unplugs just like a little Lego, and the top plastics can be removed from over the motherboard. The lower plastics include the singular loudspeaker, as well as a small coin-style vibrator motor. It is rather minuscule though, so I imagine the vibrations inside the Titan 2 will leave something to be desired. There also does not appear to be any balls inside the loudspeaker, and if you know, you know. There is a mesh over the loudspeaker opening, but since nothing else on the phone is protected from ingress, I would still keep the Titan 2 far away from liquids. I'll unplug the battery connector, the golden extension ribbon, and the black extension ribbon from the main board, along with the fingerprint scanning power button. They all unclip like little Legos. The battery on the Titan 2 is mounted sideways and does have pull tabs, but they appear to be more for decoration than anything else, since the adhesive is still holding strong. I'll add some isopropyl alcohol to help dissolve the adhesive under the battery, and then all 5050 mAh can lift up and away from the phone. Not too shabby. The motherboard comes out next. There are two tiny silver Phillips head screws holding it in place, and the front-facing 32-megapixel camera does not have any physical optical image stabilization. The rear cameras want to stay in the phone as I lift up the Titan 2 mainboard. The mainboard itself is rather uneventful, just a single stacked classically green normal-looking circuit board with no thermal paste or vapor chamber. There is blue thermal foam still left in the phone frame that helps transfer heat away from the processors, but it also looks like neither the 50-megapixel main camera nor the 8-megapixel telephoto have any optical image stabilization of their own, which is a pretty big deal if you use your phone a lot for video, and something to keep in mind. But in a mid-range smartphone that costs half as much as a flagship, while still coming with a complete keyboard, some sacrifices have to be made. The lower 33-watt fast-charging USB-C port and SIM card tray is still left in the phone, and overall, I'm a pretty big fan. I like that Unihertz is still out here being creative. Even though the world has shifted towards glass slabs and away from physical buttons, there's still a solid chunk of the population who's probably pretty good with their fingers, and I hope they find this Titan 2. The Titan 2 gets a thumbs up from me, and look at that. Everything still works. I know you could do it. Let me know down in the comments if you could rock a phone that has a full keyboard, and thanks a ton for watching. I'll see you around.